today we're going to make a galaxy watercolor. So this is a very easy thing to do. I started a little bit without you. I hope you don't mind. What you're going to do is you're just going to take a bunch of colors you like. I'm just trying to stay with blues and pinks and purples, and I have a little bit of green. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the colors you like, and you're going to be making a lot of blobs to color your space. You are going to try and do it in circular motions, like I'm showing here. And pay no mind to overlapping with the other colors, because the effect you want to get essentially is that everything in a galaxy print or space, or however you want to phrase it, kind of overlaps with each other in these swirling clouds. And so I'm showing you with this purple just kind of the finishing touches on it, but you can see where it overlaps throughout. And I would also recommend trying to stay to some darker colors just so it blends in better with little accents of lighter colors. If it's all lighter colors, it might not blend as well whenever you put on the black paint. So once you've filled up your whole space, which does take a while, especially if you have a small brush like me, you are going to go to your black paint, and you are going to get a lot of water in it. This is one of the cases where it is fine to use too much water. And you're going to want to start just by kind of covering the outside of the border of your painting, because that's going to make it look like there's more space outside of the picture and give it this kind of all-encompassing vibe. And this is one of those cases, like I think a lot of painting is, where it's going to look a little silly and then it's going to start looking cool. So I hope you can trust me as we go on this journey together. So again, get a lot of water, get it in your black paint, and just start kind of scribbling. You don't want it to be even. You don't want it to be too opaque, but you don't want it to be entirely translucent either. Now, when I first tried it with this one, I was thinking, well, you're going to want to have just some shapes that are coming in around like the blobs. And that was alright, but I think it's a lot better if you just randomly just try and cover the whole page. And the more water you add, the more you're going to be able to start seeing through to the colors beneath. You really want to just mix it up. And so if you wanted to even, as long as the borders are pretty opaque, you can take turns between going into this paint and picking up a lot of pigment and covering up that way, and then just going into water and just thinning out some of these paints, if you think that would be good too. And as you can probably start to see, the colors peek through just a little bit, and you may even get some bits where the black doesn't cover the colors at all. I would really try and blend those in, but if you liked keeping them there, you're welcome to. It looks great. So I'm going to finally cover the whole canvas. And then also, if you see any areas where you can that look a little bit too thick on the paint, you want the colors to come through a little more, you can just kind of swipe your brush around. And that's going to make the initial part of the galaxy. When it dries, it's going to look more like this, and those colors are really going to start to come through. So this is the point where you flip your paints to the other side. And so it looks pretty much like a galaxy on this part, only there's no stars. So what you're going to do is you are going to go into your white paint, which with white paper you don't really get to use a whole lot, so this is a fun little treat. And be very careful because this part's going to be messy. What you're going to do is you're going to put your finger real close to the paper. You're just going to kind of strike it with your paintbrush. And it's going to give kind of a Jackson Pollock effect where it's going to give these nice little randomly dispersed splotches. Now, if you're having trouble with it, you can always add a lot more water to your white, and that'll make it a little splashier. And that could also give you bigger drops as you go across. And so what you're going to do is just keep hitting the brush with your finger, or I guess vice versa, and move it around the page until you're satisfied with the amount of stars. And from there, let me just give it a couple more tabs. From there, you should have a nice galaxy print. Alright, so if you like this video, make sure to follow us on social media. It's EVPL Library with one L across all platforms. If you do make this, we'd love to see it. Make sure to send that in. And we hope you're safe and well.